We have all been there before when you have a couple in front of you and it gets a little awkward and there's that silence and you're thinking, oh God, what do I do? And I will tell you, I'm on my 7th year of business and sometimes it still happens because every couple is a little different. But having a few tricks in your pocket can loosen up just about any person. So when I get a couple in front of me after we've chatted and I've kind of got them warmed up and I've spent that first 15 minutes with them, right? Telling them, we're gonna have so much fun. This is gonna make your wedding day feel like a breeze, yada, yada, all the things, right? And I just want to welcome them, make them feel comfortable, and then I get right to work, right? But the first thing I don't wanna do is just pose them stiffly. I'll go, okay, stand here, do this, do this, do this, do all the things, right? What I wanna do is get them moving because movement is really natural. So I actually start all of my sessions off with walking. So I just simply instruct my couple. I have them back up because I'm usually shooting with my 70 to 200. I will tell them where they're gonna stand based on where the light is and how they're gonna hold their hands. They might hold down low. I might have her grab his arm like this. It just depends, but there's different things you can do. I always have the guy put his hand in a pocket, and then the girl, if she's got a dress, she can be swaying her dress. If she doesn't have a dress on and you want something to do with that other hand, sometimes what I do is I have her, as she's walking, go, ah ha ha, and like take this hand over YouTube screen, right? It doesn't really fit, but take this hand over and then grab the hands and go, ah ha ha, like this. But I start with a walking pose and I have them hand in hand and I just instruct them as they're walking towards me or maybe at an angle, they're just gonna be looking at each other, smiling really big and like so big their cheeks should hurt and thinking, oh, I get to marry this man. Oh, I get to marry this woman. And they're just gonna be walking and I'll even act it out and be all goofy because it makes them feel good. I'll go, you're just gonna be walking and you're just looking at each other, right? I used to tell them you can talk and laugh, but then I found I was catching a lot of photos where they were like, mid-sentence, right? The weird face that nobody wants to see. So I just instruct them to smile as big as they can, so much their cheeks should be hurting, and they're just like, ah ha ha, ah ha ha, ah ha ha. It feels awkward, but looks amazing, and they even like to hear that too. So that's the first thing I start out with is some walking poses, and I give them some variation and then some things to do with their hands. Now, if you want to see images from all of these prompts, click the link below to sign up for my free posing and prompt guide. It will walk you through all of these, especially like if you're more of a reader and a visual person there, but you'll actually get to see the images that get created. I tend to shoot portrait style, so to put them on the screen, it just would look kind of funny. But I'm gonna walk you through that and then you can click the link to download the PDF of this. The next thing I want to do is also another variation of walking. Again, this is a natural thing that couples do. It's called the lead. I have the male lead the female, right? Whether, usually, again, I'll have him in his pocket. I always ask my females, by the way, what's your favorite side? When you're taking a selfie, which side do you tend? You want to know what your females, because happy wife, happy life, right? Or your subject, whoever you're shooting, but whoever the main subject is, you want to find out what their favorite side is. So for me, if I tell you this is my favorite side, then I'm gonna have it would be my husband. I would instruct Rick to lead me this way, and we're gonna walk, right? We're gonna be hand in hand. And with that other hand, she can be playing with her hair, right? Or if she has a pocket or a thumb in the back pocket, if it's jeans. And then the guy or the lead will also have a hand in the pocket. And they're basically gonna be out holding hands like this. And what you want is the husband or soon to be or the male looking back at her, leading her along. And as he's looking back, he's a few steps ahead, and then she's looking at him. And I always tell her, I was like, just think about the day and the family you guys are gonna make. And you're like, ah ha ha, this is my husband. And you're looking at each other all dreamy. So he's leading her and she's following him. So you can shoot that in this direction, right, from straight on, and you'll get the side view, and then turn it around, right, we're still watching for the sun, and tell him now the focus is going to be on you and the groom or groom to be or what have you. And then what I do is I'll have her stand out to the side a little more, but now he's walking straight towards the camera and all the focus is on him at 2.8, 2.5, or if you shoot lower, fine. And then she's gonna be blurry in the background, but she's just still like all in awe, like, ah. And it's really cool because it's like a hero shot of him. He's like, I've got my bride. And then she's all dreamy in the background, like, ah, it's really cute. So that I call is the lead. The next thing is really great if she is wearing a dress, and that is the twirl. So you can have him hold her hand up high. And what I always tell them is hold a piece of your dress down low. And when you twirl it out, you're kind of just gracefully looking down at the ground. I don't want to tell them they're looking actually down at their dress, because then this happens, right? But you're going to give the perception that they're looking down at the dress by telling them to, like, as they swish their dress out, they're gazing off to the side, not down, but kind of like there, right? As they swish their dress out, they're gonna go this way, and as they swish it in, they're gonna lock eyes with their loved one. So it's like dreamy, 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 and it looks really good. I like to do it that way instead of an actual twirl, because sometimes with the actual twirl, eyes are all over the place. They go, woo, if they almost trip. It just, to catch it first, to catch the actual shot, I do the fake twirl. It's really like this. And then you can make them do an actual twirl. It's fun. It's a fun little experience. But to get that like picture perfect moment, just muck it up just like that. Next one is another walking one, and it's the peekback. So basically the same thing that we were just talking about with the lead, where you have him as the, where you have your groom or groom to be leading, and then she's kind of a little blurry in the background. Well, now we're gonna shoot that from behind, except he is looking at her. They're a little more side to side, and you're telling him to look at her. And when you give her the key, you have her look back. Right? Look back at me. And then he's looking at her like, dang it, girl. And then she's looking back and the focus is all on her. That's really cute. You'll see it in my guide when you download that. So that I call it the peek back. Sniffies. I call it sniffies, nose to temple, the nuzzle. There's a million different names for this, but let me see, is there one of my husband and I doing it? Not really, kind of right here. But this is a very popular one where they, we have the groom kind of put their face like this right here. It's a tricky one though. You can do nose to temple and then tell them to back off, but they usually squish their nose, or it's like this, and then you have to go, okay, now forehead down. It's just a little hard, and you can teach it to them. Caitlin James does a great job of describing it as the nuzzle, but what I found most clients, usually he is so much more taller than her that when I would have them do the nuzzle, it did this. And I'm sorry, you guys, but men are just as self-conscious about a double chin as women are. So you want to be watching out for that. So what I do, I rarely do the nuzzles. Sometimes I might do like nose to forehead, and I always want to describe right in front of the hairline. I say right in front of the hairline so her hair's not blocking your face. But what I love more is a kiss to the forehead. So it's giving the same effect as the nuzzle and the nose to temple. But if he's taller than her, you just want to have him lean down and kiss her on the head and have her just kind of turn her ear towards him like she's listening, and have him kiss her right here on the top of the forehead in front of the hairline with a soft, like, don't squish your face on her. Just a very slow, soft kiss. Hold it, hold it. Yes, you did that amazing. That was amazing. I can't wait for you to see this, right? That's what we're telling them. So that's the kiss. Or sniffies. Instead of telling them nose to temple or the nuzzle, you can get them in there right in front of their ear line, and if you want it to be funny and flirty, you tell them, all right, now you're gonna sniff her. I want you to sniff, sniff, sniff her. Tell me what she smells like. Does she smell like roses? Does she smell like your grandma, right? That's weird, but they're gonna laugh. They're gonna laugh like crazy. So get them to sniff, ask them, does she smell like roses? Does she smell beautiful? And then throw in something funny there. Does she smell like peanut butter? And they're gonna be like, what? And they're gonna laugh. It's gonna be great. So that's Sniffies or Kiss to Temple. Next is my favorite. You almost never have to explain it. I do this one with bridesmaids a lot also, like when I'm doing their individual pictures or group pictures, and I call it the cheek sandwich. Yes, I said sandwich, like cheek sammies. All you have to do is say, okay, cheek sandwich time, cheek to cheek. And they always get it. They just go, ee, and they put their cheeks together and look at the camera, and it's just cute and it's fun, and it usually gets framed because they're looking at the camera. 9 times out of 10, the images that get framed, look, I'm a photographer, and I love the romantic images where they're dipping and they're doing all the things, but look at the ones I even love the most. We're looking at the camera all happy and joyful, right? Looking at the camera, happy and joyful. Kind of looking at the camera. But anyway, so don't forget the ever so important photos where they're actually looking at the camera, because those are the ones that they're wind up framing. Bear hug works great if your one client is taller than the other. Usually the male is taller than the female. And then you can kind of get him around her a little off to the side and then kind of do the nose to temple or the sniffies or the nuzzle, whatever you want to call it. But you have him bear hug over her on an angle, not like this. It doesn't want to look like he's choking her or squishing the girls, right? Just kind of on an angle. Look, we're kind of right here. But my husband's arms were kind of restricted in this jacket, so he didn't hug all the way, but it's adorable, right? So the bear hug, and then looking at the camera, and then looking at each other, and then softly laying their faces together with their eyes closed. Bear hug is a great one. It works great standing. It also works great sitting. The slowest kiss ever. This one is my favorite. I do it with every couple, but I don't start out with it. 1, because it's a little more advanced. 2, because it involves kissing in front of the camera, which no couple wants to start their session off doing. 3, it's steamy. It is steamy. It's romantic. It looks like something that should be on a soap opera. And that's the slowest kiss ever. Some people call it like smiling with your teeth. You can do whatever works for you, but I instruct my couples that they're going to get close together like they're actually going to kiss. And sometimes I have to describe, remember to move your noses. Because, you know, if a couple goes like this, you can laugh at me, it's okay. When couples put their noses together like this, and like that's not pretty. So sometimes, because they are being instructed and they might take things extremely literally, sometimes for slowest kiss ever, you have to remind them, up, one of you go left, one of you go right. And then I tell them it's like a game. They're not allowed to actually kiss until I tell them they can. But their mouth should be open, very softly, their teeth should be showing, and they should almost be breathing each other in. And they're really close, but they're not yet kissing. It's the moment before the kiss that is just really, really steamy to capture, and it's really beautiful. And you'll see, again, some examples of that when you download my PDF guide. But I just call it the slowest kiss ever, and I usually get them in and with a dip. And when they do the dip, it's just a slight dip. They don't need to go all the way back. That's not always attractive either. Just a slight dip, a bend in the knee for the girl. If you've been following me long enough and you've seen some of my many veil in the wind photos, this is the pose I always use, is the slowest kiss ever. And then I have my associate run the veil out and throw it. So, and that photo always gets put on canvas every time. The next one is the Snuggies. Snuggies can kind of be like bear hug, but it can be a sitting pose. It usually is a sitting pose, but you can't always seat your clients. It may have just rain, they may be in a short skirt. I never sit my wedding clients on the ground. I'm sorry, I'm not getting a bridal dress dirty. I'm not even going to attempt it or risk it or any of the things. I just don't do it. But if you get the opportunity to do some Snuggies and some sit and snuggle poses, those are always really great. They kind of incorporate like a bear hug or a shoulder lean into a shoulder looking back at each other. It's just really going to depend on the height difference and where you're sitting them, if you're sitting them on a bench or if you're sitting them on the ground. But Snuggies is a great one. It's also a great one when you get them close together. You can have him whisper in her ear something like, why don't you go ahead and tell her. Now, first, I always remind them, I'm like, by the way, if I give you a prompt and I tell you to whisper something in her ear, I don't want you to feel nervous because I can't hear you. This is actually a moment that's only going on between the two of you. And because I'm usually shooting with my 70 to 200 and I'm kind of far away because I love the compression, I definitely can't ever hear it. But I'll have him whisper in her ear and I'll say, tell her 3 reasons you know she's going to be an amazing wife. And now you're going for a sweet, soft embrace and you're catching a real moment. It's really sweet. Hopefully he has 3 reasons, right? And the last but not least that I saved for last because it seems so boring as a photographer to take this one, but again, it is the one that gets printed. It's the one grandma wants. It's the one mom wants. It is essential and you don't want to forget it. And I call it the mantle picture because if you go into your family members' houses, the photos that they have printed on the mantle are not necessarily the slowest kiss ever or the snuggles. It's the one where the couple is standing hip to hip, got their arms behind each other, and they're just smiling at the camera. Don't forget to take the most important photo ever, which for us photographers, sometimes we can rush past and forget because it seems like a boring photo. But it is usually from the client's perspective, one of the most printed photos there is. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed my 10 prompts and poses that I use with just about every couple. If you want the PDF guide, there is a link below. And I hope you have a very blessed day.